Welcome to another episode of the Make Mental Health Matters show. I am your host, Kelli Melissa Reinhardt, and I'm excited. I should probably pull my microphone closer so that you can actually hear me. Logistics. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you are watching or listening. You get me by myself again today. I know you're so super excited, especially if this is your first time and you've never watched or listened to the show. Just kidding. But no, it is. I hopefully the reason why you watch this show is whether it is giving resources, information, bringing other humans on here that have information to give you. Hopefully there's a reason that you tune in. So whatever that reason is, thank you for watching. So today so funny. So if you watched or listened to the show, well, I guess listen, it wouldn't really matter, but if you watched the show last Monday, you might have noticed that I was talking about a website and pages of the website that I went to. However, the pages of the website didn't actually show. So I didn't really notice that until I watched the episode back. So you're welcome. No. That's horrible. I don't ever I you Okay, so I'm going to give you some background of the show. I don't edit the show. I go live and I don't do any editing. I know there are a lot of shows out there that they're very edited. They take out all the pauses. They make it just sound great, right? I'm sure there's a reason that they do that. Yes, I like to be professional. Yes, I like to give you the best information. But honestly, I love how it just flows. And I also love the transparency, the clear, the human, the like all the things, right? Sometimes there's tech challenges that we have. Sometimes I lose guests. Sometimes they go bye-bye, right? Like right in the middle. Sometimes I've actually had the internet shut down at one point in time. And I just think I like the authenticity of it. And I hope that that's the reason that you tune into the show is because we really genuinely try to be I talk in we as if it's me, but even my guests, they love to be authentically them. And I know some people, I've had several guests that have been brand new to podcasts that have never been on a show that have done amazing and they're really nervous before they come on. But I love just having those open, transparent conversations, and wherever it goes is absolutely perfect. So hopefully that's a reason that you tune in because it's not like your edited version of life because life is messy and life gets cuckoo bananas, as I call it. And I used to say that I was busy all the time, but now I just choose to say that it's been cuckoo bananas. That's my word that I use now because I am not as busy as people think I am, but I also am very busy. There are days that I look at my calendar, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to have any space even to eat lunch? Who knows? Um, but there's also days that I have the whole entire day open and I'm like, what do I want to do? So that's pretty exciting. And then there's days that are messy. There are days that I feel like I don't even want to get out of bed. I mean, most of the times I want to get out of bed because I'm getting older and my body start hurting if I lay in bed too long. So I want to get out of bed, but then once I get out of bed, I'm like, I'm not even motivated to do anything. And so you might identify with those type of things. And then I do shows that I think that I'm sharing the screen with you and it's not. So you probably are getting, well, at least based on the last one, you're getting the funny faces that I'm making as I'm reading the screen, but you can't actually see the screen. But I guess that's, most people listen anyways, or they have it in the background. So maybe you didn't even notice, and I'm just, spilling the beans and giving you all the background information. Or you were one of those people that was like, Kelly, I can't see the pages that you're looking at. I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. So, why am I telling you all of this? I just think it's funny. I think it's great to be a human. I think it's great to have those moments that things go wrong. I think that it is good when we're able to laugh about it. I actually was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about, let's see, what I've like I have so many conversations, but we were talking about our most recent event that we did. It's called Rock Your Wellness. It's a health and wellness fair. And every single year we just learn. We learn where to put vendors. We learn who to have as vendors. We learn the people that we don't like to have as vendors. But we also just learn every year and take it with a grain of salt. Like, I don't even know where I was at this year. I know that I didn't feel that great. So I was actually trying to avoid people so that I didn't it was more sinuses, and but I genuinely was like, I don't want to get anybody sick, so I did walk around, but I wasn't like hugging and like all the things. A couple people I hugged, but yeah, I wasn't like actively in everything like I normally am. And I left there and I was like, what did I even do with the 4 hours? But that's how life is. Life, you know, I don't even know. Tomorrow's a new day. Today is a new day. I still have part of today. So it's there's so many things that happen, and if we can't take those things, yes, there were challenges that happened. We had to move vendors at the very last minute. We had way too many vendors in our side rooms. Like, these things happen, and then we had some vendors that were not very happy because they were kind of out on the outskirts, and they were like, well, why did you put me down here? And then there were some that were on those sides that were like, it was actually pretty nice to be in this mellow space. So, you know, I feel like you can't please everybody with events, just like you can't please everybody with your shows. I hope I please anybody that listens or watches, but we make mistakes and we're all human and we just have to learn from them. I don't get upset about outcomes anymore, except for okay, that's not true. That was a lie. But I admit I there was an outcome that happened recently that I threw a fit, like full down, full meltdown, because I think it triggered. Actually, I started thinking about it and I was like, why am I so angry? Why am I so upset about this certain situation? And then I went back again, learning, right? I went back and I was like, I wonder if it's because it triggered my trauma from when I was younger. Okay, now I got to tell you the situation because I brought it up. Um, so my son, who is about to go into middle school, there we are in a district that allows you to what is called school of choice, and you get to pick not all of the well, I guess you could pick any of the schools, but he goes to an elementary school that is not what we're zoned for. There's a literally a middle or a elementary school that's within walking distance of where we live, but I didn't want him to go to that elementary school. So he's been going to the elementary school that he's been going to since kindergarten. He's actually known some of the kids since preschool that he actually goes to school with. Anyways, so from we'll say preschool, kindergarten, he's been in the same elementary school, about to go into sixth grade and into a middle school. Well, the middle school that the elementary funnels into is not what we are zoned for. So I have to fill out an application that is called School of Choice. And it's not basically, it's a lottery. So I had a alarm set for myself on the day that it opened, which was December 1st. And that day I put in the application, make sure one, that I did it. Because there's always that challenge. But two, because I was like, well, maybe if you have early, maybe they'll consider that. And I don't know how it works with the lottery. But I do know that they do a lottery to try to make it fair. They do like the first chunk, so it's up to a point if you have applications in that, and then they use all those people, or they lottery all those people, not use. They lottery all those people, and then from there, anybody that applies after that, then they go on a wait list. Well, the initial email that we got, they put us on a wait list, and I had a full melt. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, it was like Christmas. It was like one of those like waiting to get the email to see if he got in, and I was so excited. And then I got the email and I got mad. I got so mad. It triggered within me something that made me so mad. And I was like, what in the heck just happened? But it changed my whole entire attitude, like the rest, not the rest, but a part of the night. Like I was just mad. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to, like, I was just mad. And I was trying to find a solution to the problem. I'm a fixer. I know that. I was trying to fix the problem because I was like, oh my gosh, I have to know somebody. And the whole thing is that this school district, like I went to the school district. My mom taught in the school district. My other mom, she worked in the school district. My son goes to the school district, right? Like my nonprofit partners with the school district. Like there's so many reasons, like I should be able to like be one of the ones that they pick. I don't know. And not that any of those things should make it be that way, but in my brain, I was like, why wouldn't they pick us? Why, right? And then when we went on the wait list, I was like freaking out. I called my mom. I was like, do you know the principal of this school? Because if we could get a recommendation, like maybe they would take us off the wait list, because we've already had to do that. And maybe it's because we've already had a situation happen with school of choice where we were given incorrect information from the current principal of how we had to apply for the school or not apply for the school, which we did have to apply for the school. Anyways, whole other subject. But so I've already had a negative experience with school of choice, and it took an act of God or an act of the principal to get us off the wait list last time. So I think one, it triggered that experience of like, oh my gosh, he's not going to be able to go to the school. And then it also, okay, so in reflecting, this is where the reflection comes in. And maybe you've experienced this before too. And maybe you haven't reflected on it yet, but reflection tends to happen pretty quickly with me now, just because I have so many tools or learned so many tools over time. But I reflected and I was like, maybe this goes back to when I went to middle school. Because when I was, so yes, I'm going to date myself and it's okay. I don't care sharing my age and all those things. I'm not one of those women that doesn't share her age. But when I went to middle school, it was when they were making the shift from sixth grade being in elementary school or middle school in Colorado. If you're not from Colorado and you don't, this doesn't apply to you, you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But back in the, what was that? The 90s. Yeah, the 90s, early 90s. I'm like, I could probably figure out when exactly. Let's see. So I would have been 11. So that would have been 91. Math. I don't know, hard. Oh, 91, pretty sure 91. I was born in 80. So if you better math, there you go. So in the 90s, they elementary school was kindergarten through sixth grade. But then when I went to middle school, they had just added sixth grade into middle school. So middle school is sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, and then high school, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Well, before it was elementary, went up to sixth, and then seventh, eighth was middle, and then ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. And I think that even before that, you literally elementary to high school. And then they added the middle school. So when I went to middle school, it was the first year that they had 6th grade that they added in there. So I had a choice. I could either stay at the elementary school with all the kids that I had grown up with, or I could go to a middle school. And one of my best friends at the time, she was going to this middle school. And I was like, well, I want to go with my best friend. Well, I learned the hard way. So glasses were not cool back in the day like they are today. Now it's like everybody has these super cool glasses, but they weren't cool back in the day. So I had these big giant glasses. I was a total nerd. And I felt like my best friend that I had forever turned her back on me that year. And it was like the hardest time. Like the Mean Girls happened, and middle school, it's hard. You have all these hormones going through your body. Like it is a hard transition period for middle schoolers. And so I just remember 6th grade being the worst year I've ever had in my lifetime. Other than it was also the time that hairspray and big giant hair. So, like, if you're watching, like, you ratted it and you had big giant hair, like that was the cool part of middle school. But um that was like, I hated 6th grade. Well, I decided in 7th grade that I was going to go to the middle school that I should have went to, where all my friends from the elementary went. And that was the best year I ever had. I made so many friends, like so many new friends, so many old friends. I met one of my best friends that year, and she was so kind. I remember Tanya. She was so kind to me. Like, she was the first person that welcomed me in with like open arms. And um, mind you, these, well, she hadn't gone to my elementary school, but most of these kids that I knew had come from the elementary school. So, yeah, it was just like 7th and 8th grade were amazing. And then going into ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, right? Like we all funneled into the same high school, which was, high school. I was there half the time, not there half the time. I don't know. I was a little bit of a rebel. But um I think it like triggered that moment of like, oh my gosh, 6th grade, like he's gonna go to this middle school where he knows nobody, or maybe like knows 3 people, because we do know some kids that go there, because the kids that live in our area go there. Not exactly the kids that I want him to be hanging out with, but some of them go there. So we know a couple kids that go to that middle school, but it just wouldn't be the same as going with all of his friends to the same middle school. So I think it triggered a little bit of that. And I was like, Psh, like I got mad and I was like, this is not right. This can't happen. Okay, fast forward to just a few days later. So they have this time frame of 14 days. If somebody doesn't accept their seat, or maybe they have somebody say that they're going to another school or whatever, like if anybody's zoned in that area and they decide not to go to that school, the school is able to add more seats. Or maybe once they get the final count, then they can start taking people off the wait list. So, the next week, which was last week, I got another email and I was like, why am I getting this email again? I don't understand. We already got this email. And I was like, well, let me just click on it and see. And then it's like, you've been approved for a seat. And I was like, like freaking out. I like press a button as fast as I possibly could. Accept, accept, accept. And I was so excited and I started bawling. I was like, like I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And I didn't get any help, right? Like I called my mom. I was like, "Who knows the principal? Like put in a word with your teacher." Like I was like finding every angle to possibly get him in. No help was given. But maybe it was the universe, right? Like I was like, we had an amazing weekend that weekend. We had a lot of fun activities that we ended up doing. So it was a really great weekend. Puppy yoga, we did top golf, we supported some other nonprofits, and then the seat opened and it was so freaking exciting. So why am I telling you all of this? It's because sometimes we get in our own way. Sometimes we let things just drag us down, and it's like things that we can't control, right? Like, I mean, there is a way that you can control it, but also it's like, give it that 14 days, right? And I was like in this mindset that I was like, he's not going, like freaking out. And then now he is, which is so cool. So there are things that we can't control. There are things we can only control ourselves. We can only control our own feelings. And when we're able to release that, it's so freeing. And I think that's the biggest thing that I learned was, and then it was also great to be able to just like release that energy, to be able to like get that weight off of my shoulder and cry it out and like just be happy. Like it wasn't like sad tears by any means. It was like super happy tears and like, okay, universe, I get it. I'm listening. Like I had to take that moment to process what had happened of like, gotcha. Okay. I hear you. I see you. I get it. I will receive. I will take the moments that it is to be okay and not shift into this negativity because I know dumping a bunch of stress hormones into my body is not a good state to be in. And I have to just release that sometimes to the universe, the source, God, whatever you believe, but sometimes we just have to let it go and it'll come back to us, right? That's really what I learned the most is that sometimes we just have to let it go and let it come back to us in a positive state. So, with that said, wow, I already half of this is over. We're gonna go to our quick first sponsor break, and when we get back, I have some fun, exciting things to share with you, and I'm gonna share my screen so you can actually see it. I'll be back right after this quick sponsored break.
Have you ever felt completely alone?
Like your life doesn't matter.
One person dies due to suicide every 40 seconds.
You are not alone. Call the National Suicide Lifeline at 988.
Hope and recovery is possible.
1 in 8 people globally live with a mental disorder.
That's why empowering minds saves lives.
We need your help.
With only $19 a month, you help us save lives through mental health and suicide prevention education.
Scan the QR code or go to makementalhealthmatter.org to sign up as a warrior for mental health today.
Hi everyone, I am Sinead from Brador. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. Please join me in my Power Hour every Sunday, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on E360 TV. Mwah!
And like that, I'm back. If you happen to be just joining or tuning into the Make Mental Health Matter show, thank you so much for watching or listening. Looks like I have some more guests here, but I don't have anybody here. So that's fascinating. Okay, let me see. Technical things. It's always one of those things that you're like, this is not how it's supposed to go. What are you doing? I don't even know how to change this. Okay, uno momento. That's the only I know. Okay. Haha, yay, it's just me. Woohoo. All right. So I'm talking about how life sometimes gets messy. Sometimes we have things that happen that are outside of our control. I totally had that moment on last Monday. If you happen to be watching the show, because I thought I was sharing my screen and I totally was not sharing my screen. So yeah, you probably were like, I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. So this week I'm going to share my screen and I want to share with you a very exciting thing that is happening, and we're restarting the clock on this. So I think we've kind of talked a little bit about it You can like move things all around on the screen and it's just not working. Oh, okay. We have talked about it a couple times. So it is 30K in 30 days. It is a campaign that we are currently running, and I'm resetting the clock on it because it has been cuckoo bananas lately, and we have not really had the time to be able to fully advertise or share or market or do anything as related to it. So I'm restarting the clock, and from here on out today, we are, well, actually as of last week, but I mean, by the time you watch this, as of last week, we're resetting the clock. So I want to share with you, and we're gonna see if this actually works. The let's see if I can see that it's sharing properly. Share media. That's not what I'm trying to do. Exit full screen. Nope, that's not what I want to do. You can't see it. That's so fascinating. Okay, let's see if I can move myself around. I may actually have to pop over to a little bit different screen for it to work properly. So, you're probably not even seeing the screen that I want you to be able to see. Bummer. See, these things happen. Technology. It either works or it doesn't work. All right. Okay, let me see. Let's see if I can do it this way. This way. Do 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 do. Screen share. Huh. Fascinating. All right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I'm going to try one more time and see if you can actually see. Well, that's interesting. All right. I'm not going to sit here and play around with technology, but I will drop the link. So 30K in 30 days. It is a campaign that we are doing. Why is it so important? It is important because there are so many people out there that are struggling with their mental health right now that feel completely alone, and nobody should ever struggle by themselves. They also shouldn't feel like they have nowhere to go, no one to talk to, and that's why we had created this program called the LoveLife Live program that I've talked about on the last, 3-4 episodes. You're probably sick of hearing about it, but hopefully you're not, because I think it's going to be a game changer for the people that really truly need support and need access to mental health support, that maybe don't have the financial means to go get a counselor or a therapist or somebody to talk to that is under $100. And that's what this program has been designed for, are those people. I talk to people all the time out in the community that say, like, I'm a caregiver. I support people all the time. I take care of so and so. I work at a nonprofit. I am an entrepreneur, and I can't even afford to go get mental health services. I can't afford a therapist. I can't afford a counselor. My insurance doesn't pay for it, or I have such a high deductible. Like, I end up having to pay all of it out of pocket anyways. So what's the point? I hear that all the time. So I knew, especially when the big beautiful bill happened last year, that people were about to lose a whole bunch of benefits. All of the deductibles were about to skyrocket, and accessibility was about to go away. And I have been sitting on this idea for years at this point. And I was like, enough is enough. I have to do something about it. So we have been in the process of building and figuring out exactly what it would look like, what technology we're going to use, how we can actually provide low cost coaching and holistic based services. all of the coaches that will be on our platform are certified coaches. I talked about what certified versus non-certified means. I feel like I've kind of talked about this program a lot with you. But why is this campaign so important right now? It's because we have to pay for all of that backside, the tech that it's going to be on, being able to give free coaching program, free sessions to those who need it the most. Also, keeping the costs at only $50 to $56 per session. That is unheard of in the coaching realm. $56. And thank you to all the coaches that are a part of this, that are being paid at a lower rate, at a negotiated, we'll say a negotiated rate, that want to just genuinely support the community in whatever way that they can. And we will eventually start adding holistic services. So when I say holistic, I mean massage, chiropractor, acupuncture, acupressure, Reiki, nutrition. I'm trying to think of all the things, but there's a lot out there. And those are your holistic base. So they're not the traditional go to your doctor, see a psychologist, see a therapist, see a counselor. They are more of those healing modalities, foot zoning. I already said Reiki. I'm like, what are the other? Why can't I think? Um, IV treatments, things of that nature, right? So they're just not your traditional that you would go to a doctor, a licensed professional to get their service. We want to add those different modalities in because they are very, very helpful, and they do work a little bit quicker than just your traditional. And I know a lot of people are very traditional. I get it, but it opens up a whole nother world when you actually try different things. So that's my soapbox. And the reason that we need this funding is so that we can actually provide these services. We need to come up with. See, that's the like trauma, my financial trauma coming in. But we need to raise $2,000 in the next 10 days. So as of this, when this goes live, it'll be 5 days. We need to raise $2,000 in the next 5 days. The goal is that we're raising 30,000 in 30 days. Why is 30,000 the number? That's because, again, we have to pay for the tech that is running the whole program. We have to pay the coaches that are coaching at a very low negotiated cost to be able to help the community. We also have to, unfortunately, pay a ton of fees for credit card processing. Like, what is happening? So, okay, so this is my ask also. Not only donating to this amazing campaign that we're doing and being a part of the support to get this program launched. If anybody knows how to build a website or a tech, if they know the tech, if you would want to volunteer your time to help us build our own platform that we could host our coaches and they can do classes on it, they can do sessions on it, it's HIPAA compliant, and we are able to process payments out of it. There's some really cool things of the platform that we're using now. But if anybody knows how to build a platform and would be so kind to donate their time to help us build that platform, I would be so grateful for you, because the processor, that the platform that we're using now, the credit card processing fees are outrageous. I mean, we have paid so much money already and we have zero payments going through their system, and they're charging us, I mean, it's like over $100 a month for nothing going through it. And then we had our first payment that went through, and literally like almost the whole entire payment was processing fees. So ridiculous. And they only use one processor, which kind of blows my mind. So if anybody, that would like help us so much too if we had our own platform that could be built that ties into our website, that we could host all of the coaches and the coaching and all of that on. If you know how to do that and you want to donate your time, Make Mental Health Matter will totally give you a receipt that shows your time and your effort and whatever value that is to you. That would be amazing. So, okay, that was a little plug. But otherwise, we have to pay for all of that tech, and as a very low budget nonprofit currently that is not funded by grants, federal or state, we are grassroots. I mean, 8 years later, we're still grassroots, very low budget, very low income funding. Unfortunately, right now, we just don't have the infrastructure or the financial funding aspects to be able to pay for all of this. So, if you're able to, please go to, which it's been scrolling along the bottom here, it's mmhm.org forward slash it's actually forward slash 30K 30 days. So I've had the wrong one scrolling on the bottom. Let me do the right one for you. And then there we go. Okay. If you want to learn more, though, the one that was scrolling is mmhm.org forward slash love life live. That gives you more information about the program specifically. And if you want to be one of the founding members, we also have a special going on for that too. So you can go start to utilize the services and the coaches that we have on the platform, and we'll be adding more and more coaches every single day. But if you feel so compelled to this mission that you're like, I love everything that you're doing, you're filling a gap that nobody else is filling currently. We really truly are filling this gap that for coaching and holistic based services that nobody else is doing. And it's low cost. You can take advantage of it as anybody out there. You don't have to be low income, and you don't have to be high deductible, which most people are, but we're not going to make you tell us what is your financial statement. No. If you need the service, come and get the service. So if you feel like you align with our mission and what we're doing, please, 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 even if it's $5, every donation helps. I mean, really, truly, if we can get 1,000 people donating $5, right? Like, yep, math. See, talking about I should not talk about math on here because math is hard. But if we have 1,000 people that donate $5, that's $5,000, and we can make that 2,000 that we need to make in the next 5 days. So small impacts. If we have 300 people that donate $100, that is what? I know. I wish I was live. $30,000. Why didn't I don't know why I didn't know that, because that's like, anyways. So if 300 people donate $100, we're at our $30,000. How easy is that? There are 140,000 of you that watch or listen to the show. So, I mean, even if all of you donated $5, $5, that would be, well, not even if every single person that listened to the show donated $1, we would be at $140,000. $1, y'all. $1. If every single person that watched or listened to the show donated $1, we would be at $140,000. At $140,000, we could support 2,800 people with sessions. 2,800 people would be able to get a free session if every single one of you that watches or listens to the show donated $1. That is simple. That is easy. $1, you can get anything for $1. Even at the dollar store, it is $1.25 or $1.50. But if you could donate $1, just go to mmhm.org/30K 30 days, the number 30K, the number 30 days, donate $1. We would have our program funded for a whole entire year if you would just go donate $1. All right, I gotta go to my last quick sponsored break. I'll be right back after this.
1,917 people died daily from suicide globally.
I lost my middle sister, Carrie, to a completed suicide on February 20th, 2017.
How does Kelli, host of the Make Mental Health Matter show, impact lives?
Number 1. Awareness.
My story, however, it isn't unique. I am a domestic violence survivor and a recovering addict. For 14 years, I was in active addiction, and because of Kelli and the work that she does and the opportunity to have my voice heard, I was able to stay clean and sober and have hit a year. I'm still here, and if it wasn't for Kelli answering my call the day that I thought I was going to take my life.
2. Conversation.
I'm curious, and I know that I've heard a lot in the BIPOC community, it is very hush-hush. It's like one of those things that you don't talk about. Like, you literally feel like it's not a conversation you can have. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
First, shout out to Kelli, because I'm glad that she asked the question. I researched you before I went on your show, and I saw how real and authentic you were. And I just appreciate the question, because it is different, and we have to have tough, courageous conversations. So yes, I always say I'm a triple diversity threat. I'm a Black woman with multiple disabilities. Now, I'm not really a threat, but to other people, I may be, because people fear the unknown and what they're uncomfortable with.
Number 3. Education.
Kelli's passionate commitment to mental health awareness is a beautiful thing. It's clear in her social media posts, it's clear in the resources that she puts together, in the activities that she provides, her collaboration with organizations, and the consistent way that she continues to deliver a message, encouraging people to understand that they can share openly and to break the stigma around mental health. Kelli's topics cover children and adults, talk about things that we can do as a community, things that we can do individually, and her website is packed with information and resources and all kinds of contacts that you can use to reach out, whether you're dealing with something yourself or you're looking to help somebody else who is struggling. I encourage you to check it out.
And like that, I'm back. If you happen to be just tuning in to the Make Mental Health Matter show, make sure you go back and watch the whole beginning. But thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Kelli Melissa Reinhardt. You already know that because you've been watching or listening for the whole entire thing, right? Yep, you have, haven't you? But so I think right before we went to the break, I blew my own mind. Because I was like, man, we legit have 140,000 people that watch or listen to this show. And if every single person that watched or listened to this show went and donated $1, we would have $140,000 that would fund our program for a whole entire year. And it would give us access to give about 2,800 people free sessions. The goal that we have specifically, so it's not, it wouldn't be the full 2,800 because I also didn't consider I have to take out the money for the tech, all the fees that I was actually just talking about, which are bonkers. And then being able to pay the coaches. And then we also do have a program director, which has been huge in putting this all together, getting it launched, and then also just giving back to the nonprofit in general so that we can continue to run these programs and continue to launch more and be able to offer more. So it wouldn't be necessarily 2,800 people, but definitely we could get right around, I mean, 1,500 to 2,000 free sessions that we would be able to offer. And that would be so giant. There's not many platforms that you can go to that you don't have to fill out an application and sit on a wait list and hope that you get picked, like I was talking about earlier. Have a random lottery decide your fate. But you could definitely come to our platform and be able to get a free session like here and there. Our goal is to offer 4 free sessions to anybody that comes onto the platform, and they're kind of spread out a little bit. So it's, I mean, you get 2 15-minute hey, let me see if you're a good fit for me, if I'm a good fit for you type of session with any of the coaches that are on our platform, but also just having like, hey, you're dedicating time to yourself. This is really a dedication of self-care, a dedication of getting your mental health back where it needs to be, getting your mental wellness, your wellness in general back to where it needs to be, making sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Because if we're pouring from an empty cup, or we're not putting our own oxygen mask on, or, you know, all of those metaphors that we use, really truly, if we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to take care of others. And I think that's the important part, is that through coaching, and again, we have multiple different types of coaches. We're going to have life coaches. We're going to have NLP coaches, or neuro linguistic programming, which is like what I do. I have a whole network full of NLP coaches. We have life coaches. We have business coaches, because business is huge, right? Like if you're not, excuse me, if you're not good in your business, then probably your personal life is suffering too. So you need to get right in your business as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, so that your personal life can be just as good. We're also going to have nutritionist coaches, peer coaches. If you're not familiar with peer coaches, I've talked about this before because I just went through the training, but it's like having a real human to talk to, like somebody that gets what you're going through and isn't sitting there trying to fix you, isn't trying to make things better, like just genuinely talking about whatever it is that's coming up for you and sitting with you, whether it's in silence or just allowing you to talk about whatever it is that you need to talk about. It could even be your suicidal thoughts, right? Like no judgment, 100% no judgment zone. And that's what peer coaches are amazing for. Everybody needs a peer coach. Yes, they do. But ultimately, we need the funding to be able to get this launched. We need the funding to pay for the tech. We need the funding to be able to offer the service to all the people that need it. And it's not just, so currently, it's not just in Colorado. That's where I was going, but it's also not going to just be in the United States, although currently it is just in the United States, just for payment processing reasons. Again, if somebody wants to build us a platform that we could even expand this internationally and not be chopped, getting our arms and our legs and our head, okay, that's horrible, but getting our limbs chopped off by fees, and we could just plug into what we're already using. We use Stripe, we use PayPal. Like, if there's a way, somebody help me. I'm pretty tech savvy, but I don't have the time. And unfortunately, we don't have the funding to be able to pay somebody. So a volunteer would be amazing. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. if you're watching or listening to this, if you can even go donate $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, or maybe you are somebody that has more money than you know what to do. And you're like, I've been looking for a nonprofit. I've been looking for a platform that I can get behind. And this is perfect. It's helping launch life-saving coaching and services that aren't available to most people. So if you want to drop $30,000 into our bank, I would love and be so honored, and I will receive that money, and I would just be honored to have you as a partner. Like, really, truly, if you have a business, we'll showcase your business. If you want to come on the show and you want to tell your story, and you want to show that you supported this cause, like, I'm 100% game to market the crap out of you and market, and maybe not even market, maybe it's just share, right? Maybe you're just looking for a way to share and give back. You are my people, and I would honor and appreciate that, and being fully transparent where the money is going, specifically. And it is, a lot of it will go to the tech right away. A lot of it will go to the funding of, there's a lot of connections and funding that we have to make, as far as tech goes, to be able to have sessions online, like with Zoom, and having uh, coaching. Live coaching? Nope, that's not. Live classes. Sorry, I was like, what is the word? Live classes. There's a lot of connections we have to make. So if you are interested, please go. It's been scrolling up along the bottom. But no matter what you do, I go live every single Monday at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. on Dream Vision 7 Radio, or at 5 p.m. Denver Mountain Time on E360 TV. So come back next Monday. Bye, y'all.